Hi, it's Dorleen. Welcome to my channel and welcome to my creative life. Today I'm making a beautiful box card for my sister's 65th birthday, and this cut file is from My Scrap Chick, and I'll have her link below in the information box, as well as a link to my blog and my Instagram account and anything else I feel like you need to know. So after I cut everything up, now when I uploaded it, I cut it exactly as it was uploaded, so I didn't change any sizing. And the nice thing is they have the score lines there. So if you're not familiar with once you upload a file that has or that should have score lines, usually when they're uploaded, they're considered cut lines. So you do have to go through, ungroup pieces, and then change those cut lines to score lines, and then attach them to the image that should have the score line. For in this case it would be the box or the wheelbarrow and also the grassy features. Now I can do a video of that where I'm actually showing it on my screen, but if you've done this before, then you know what I'm talking about. Now I use liquid adhesive to adhere this type of thing because it gives you a little bit of wiggle room when you are adhering something. So if something's not quite right, you can wiggle it a little bit. If you use a double-sided tape, which is also a very strong adhesive, once you put it on, you're done. You can't move it. You can't do anything. I mean, you could tear it off, but then you'd have to redo it. So that's why I recommend a liquid adhesive. I just purchased this precision glue press. Well, it's been a little bit, and I love it because it comes with a fine point at the end, and a lot of pieces, like especially those little small yellow pieces, are perfect for a fine point glue adhesive. So anyhow, once I put all the flowers together, I was going to put the box together first, and then I realized, wait, I have to put those flowers together so I can put them on these green pieces. Now, usually what I do is I go back and I'll add any like pen marks or any kind of scoring or glitter or anything like that first before I put it all together. But since this is the first time I'm doing it, I'm basically just kind of following how it should be done. So because a lot of times I'll put foam adhesive, things like that. But right now I'm doing everything flat, and then I will add some additions at the end. So again, very simple card to make, very self-explanatory. And usually with My Scrap Chick, she does have a YouTube video, and she'll show instructions or directions on how to put together some of the more difficult files. But this one was really simple, and I searched for a video just because I wanted to make sure I was doing it right. I couldn't find one, not to say that there's not one there. Sometimes it's just me. But again, it was really simple to do. Oh, you can see here that I'm putting some glitter marker on some of those petals. So again, like I mentioned before, is I usually do it all prior, but I was thinking opposite when I was creating this card. But once I do all that, I add some white highlights, and then I do add them to the green portions, again, exactly where they're supposed to go. And you can see by the shape of the base where those flowers are supposed to go, and in what direction. So that's what makes it really simple, and I love that. So the one with the 3 is supposed to go in the back, and for some reason I decided to put the one with the one in the front on first. Now I should have done it the opposite way, but you know what, it all worked out. So once I decide where it goes, and all I did was put a little bit of liquid adhesive on the tab, and then I'm going to put it just a hair above where the score line is. And when I say a hair, it's really just to give it a little bit more room so that when it does bend, it's not really tight. But make sure that your green portion, so that green portion is level with the brown portion, because that's where you can get into trouble if you're adhering these together and it's just not quite even, because you do want the score lines to fold evenly. Now again, I mentioned I probably should have done this back one first, but since I didn't, all I'm doing is putting adhesive on both sides of the tabs instead of doing one at a time, and then I'm just going to slide it in there and use the open part of the box to kind of guide where this one goes. And this is pretty simple as well. You just want to make sure that the green portion is underneath or just a little bit lower at the edge of the wheelbarrow, because you don't want that peeking out so much. Now the nice thing about this is she's allowed double cuts of all of these things so that the box is very sturdy. Now you don't have to do that. You can always just do the one layer if you wanted to, but hey, it was cut out, may as well use them. So I'm just using again the liquid adhesive to put some adhesive on one side, and then I'm just laying it right on top of the other. And then once that's glued together, I'm going to glue those to the tabs, and this is going to be the front of the card. Now you can see over to the left, there's a dark brown cut that will go in front of the wheelbarrow. Now I decided not to use that because, like I mentioned in the beginning, this card is for my sister for her birthday, so I wanted to really decorate the front as well. So because otherwise it's really just kind of a plain wheelbarrow. Don't get me wrong, it's beautiful just as it is. I mean, this would be appropriate for anything, but because I knew it was for a special occasion, I wanted to really bring it up a level. So I didn't use that dark brown one. I went back to my Cricut and I cut that out in purple. But then what I did, and I didn't show it, is I took that same image and then I used the offset button or the offset feature. And then I did, if you move it to the guide to the left, your offset will be like an inset. I'm not even sure if that's a word, but that's what I call it. And or maybe it's an onset. Anyways, so I did it just a little bit smaller than the particular size, and so I did that in white, so it gave me a base. And then I just used a purple marker to add some cross hatches on it, and you'll see it in a minute, and it all makes sense. I also cut out a 65 and also a banner, so that way I can really, like I said, really make this super special and pretty and unique and customized for my sister's birthday. Again, super easy project. I know it looks pretty hard, and I know if you're a crafter, you're thinking, yeah, this looks easy enough. But if you're a non-crafter, you're thinking, what the heck, I could never make this. But I'm telling you, you can do it. Again, check out the information box, and I'll have a link to my blog, also to the My Scrap Chick website, so if you wanted to purchase this on your own. And again, thank you for watching. I do post 2 videos a week. One is always scrapbooking, and the other is whatever it is I'm creating in the command center. I'd appreciate it if you'd hit that subscribe button. Thank you very much for watching. And here is the final card. Look at that big, huge difference. Oh, I forgot to mention earlier that I did add some little pretty enamel dots as well. But thank you again for watching. Bye.